Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I know Victoria's Secret. Alongside of me is Ali Dana, and he doesn't flush, he just scares the shit out of the toilet. Welcome to episode 32 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. Episode 32 is the Nidoran Mail episode. Famous players to wear the number 32. Magic Johnson, Shaq when he was with the Magic, the Suns, and the Heat, and Sandy Koufax. Red Sox players that wore the number 32 is Derek Lowe, Craig Breslow, who's currently our general manager, and Matt Barnes. And Ollie, are you doing the Giants players? Or are you skipping over because there was a couple of
No, so we got two right guards and a right tackle. From all prior to 1944. The player that played the longest with us was Al Blozis, I think is how you say his name. Blozis. I think Blozis. I couldn't even. I was trying to find that, but yeah, 1942 to 1944. That's my dog wearing 32. If I'm a current Giants player or a guy that's about to get drafted to the Giants, I would definitely want to wear the number 32, just because there would be no one even in recent history to wear it. Yeah, but speaking just on the Giants topic, the Giants lost to the Carolina Panthers in Munich, Germany this week, and with that loss, we have moved to the worst team or the bottom of the NFL, and we are officially in line to get the number one overall pick next year.
It's a little bright side to being really bad for a whole season.
We beat the Seahawks.
Okay, there you go.
And I got to be there, so that's one of our two wins.
Nice. How's it going, man? How's Costco?
It's good. It's good. Working into my schedule. We're on to our holiday season, so hours are a little later on a couple days. I think we're open a little earlier, but just been pushing carts, been front end assisting, been doing a bunch of different things, been getting trade with the they make me put on like the steel toes, and I go back in the back where there's like all the pallets and what are they, forklifts are going everywhere and stuff, so it's pretty cool. That's kind of a cooler aspect of it, I think. And then but yeah, it's been good. Just been working. Got to play some golf on Thursday and Friday last week at North Park. Yeah, it's been good.
That's cool. Is it getting like kind of crazy for like Thanksgiving stuff, like Thanksgiving prep, people like really ramping it up?
It is, but I would say we haven't. Like, it's gonna get way crazier. They're saying like the busiest they've ever seen it is like this week coming up. It's like the week before Thanksgiving, and then it's like the week after or something like that. And then it's just dead.
I imagine before Thanksgiving would be like bananas, with just people getting like food prep for like big families. And I guess the week after, because that's when people do a lot of the Christmas shopping too. So I guess that makes sense too. But that's, you're primed to just get fucking rammed up there, man.
Yeah, they said you are like if you're doing cashier assisting, you're just head down, and there's like the lines that I've seen that are long. They said it like goes from what I've seen, it doesn't like, and from like the point I've seen it at, they said it's like quadruple the line of like what I've seen the longest line so far, and I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, you're just not, it's like not saying hi or anything like that. You're just head down, going as fast as you can, putting stuff in. So I'm a little anxious with it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just like, I don't know. It's not like no one's dying if I do it too slow or anything like that. That everyone's gonna get out like everyone's going to the same place. They're all going to the exit door.
Get out at a reasonable time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like at a time over there? How many cashiers, like registers, do you guys have working like at a time?
I think we have like 14 to plus registers.
And they're still
lines all the
crazy,
way.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm a little anxious honestly for it, but I think it'll be cool. It's like something I've never I don't think I really maybe as a kid, but I haven't really been to Costco during the holiday time in a while, so it'll get crazy.
Is everybody there kind of freaking out over like the Big Justice and AJ thing? Are you getting a lot of like people coming in being like, boom? And
I hear it a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Chocolate cookie.
I was like, I was walking, gonna go clock in for my break or something like that, or like go check back in for my break, and this little kid was walking with his dad, and he was like, "Dad, can I get a double chunk chocolate cookie?" And I like was like, I wasn't sure if he was just asking for a double chunk chocolate cookie or referencing it, and I was like, I don't know what I don't know how aware this
Got my
kid is, but it's definitely there. It's definitely
wow.
there. But every time I get a chicken bake, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
getting a chicken bake, or like, that's a
That's
boo.
funny, dude. Um, yeah, they're everywhere, man. That thing they did with Fallon, and Fallon was like not entertained and just kind of like super over it the whole time. Dude, that was hilarious. And Fallon's,
I do. I love the
you
Rizzler. I
know,
love the
it
Rizzler.
was so funny. Yeah, I had a pretty good week. I went out to Rain Shadow on Sunday and hung out with some of my buddies. I got a buddy who lives over in Port Townsend over there, so we got 3 rounds of Rain Shadow in. That was a pretty long day, but pretty awesome. Um, it's the second week of me going to the gym, kind of doing some off-season stuff. So if you're also doing it, let me know. We'll be in there. We'll be doing it together for sure. I'm trying to get another like consistent week of going to the gym in before I start adding more stuff. So like I think maybe next week or the week after, I'm going to start intermittent fasting, where you only eat for like 8 hours a day kind of thing, and you kind of fast, outside of like water and black coffee or and that outside of that. So yeah, kind of one step at a time, getting myself real healthy kind of into next year. Signed up for my first tournament for next year. It was the Tree Smack. So that should be pretty good. A lot of lessons still going. And we got the CTAC Slowdown on Saturday. So it should be good. I'm still not sure if I'm going to play or not. Right now, I don't think so, just because I haven't been throwing much. Um, but if I get out and do a practice round the next like day or two and it feels pretty good, I might still sign up kind of last minute. But yeah, I don't think was there any tournaments this past weekend. I don't think I saw any on the schedule. And
Not that I was aware of. I know the NADGT happened, and there was some people
yeah,
down there from Washington that I
Brad
recognize.
Roberts was doing really well. I don't know.
Rad Roberts was doing really well. Maccabee was doing really
Mm,
well. Luke Gent had a really solid round at the like he shot +1 at that really hard course that people were taking some huge
yeah,
scores on. So big shout out to Luke Gent. I was keeping up
I
with
think
him, and he was
the
doing,
mini golf too.
huh?
I think he won like the mini putter thing, so that was cool. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I
That's
think he posted
awesome.
something about that. Yeah,
Did he post his distance or anything like that? I want to say he had a pretty far distance at the
yeah.
distance competition,
I
which
want to
was
say I
cool.
saw him hit like 530 or 520. Like he was over 500 for sure.
I think it was. I don't know if it was. I heard something like 550. I heard something like 550, which is like crazy. But I was like, "Let's go, Luke." I was like, "It's you're such. He's a dog. That's my
Yeah,
dog."
that's awesome. Good for him. Yeah, we see him a lot in the MPO next year, so that's cool. Yeah, I know there was like a space race out at Tall Firs, but I don't really think. I don't know if that's even like an official tournament or anything like that. So, yeah, not a lot going on right now this time of year for sure. So 2025 Washington State schedule is out on Facebook right now. John Anderson put it in the Northwest Disc Golfers, so you can go in there and you can pretty much make your schedule for all of next year if you want to. We put up 13 tournaments that we're running through ECD, which is really cool. I think we have 7 at North Bend and 5 at SeaTac. Um, but I mean, if you're an AM player and you want to, theoretically, I think you could play every weekend next year and maybe play multiple tournaments a weekend. I think there's enough like AM tournaments that are going on with like between like the NADGTs and like I know Chuck has some kind of like split tournaments where he has like a couple AM divisions going one day, a couple AM divisions going another day. So um, it's loaded. It's looking really good. I have a couple of weekends that I have multiple events that I would like to play on the same weekend. So I'm gonna have to make some decisions at some point about it and that. But yeah, no, 2025 is looking super, super packed. I think I have like 31 tournaments right now that I want to play. And that's before there's a couple of like random C tiers and stuff like that. They're always fun and that kind of thing. So
That's awesome. I love that.
yeah, it should be good. The biggest
I always like the planning part of the where you're like, oh, like you get it because then you get to the tournament and you're like, oh, I remember that random day in November where I was thinking about this.
Mhm.
Like it's just a
Yeah.
fun time, like you start the visualization here and you just really can do a lot of
Yeah,
things.
it's about the possibilities right now, right? Like, one of the things I'm looking into is maybe going down to Pasadena, California, for the Wintertime Open in February. And I think actually ECD is hosting an event that same weekend. So I'm kind of figuring out if I want to, stay for our event or kind of travel down there for the week and kind of do that. But it's like one of those like, ooh, like I could do that, and it's kind of just fun, like, oh, Oregon has a few tournaments. Like I could probably slap this one on my schedule, and I could slap that one on my schedule. There are a few.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the one that's going to be a really big decision for me is Beaver State Fling, because it's not a pro event this year. It's just an A tier. It's on the same weekend as Kayak Point Open. So yeah,
Oh,
I don't know, like, because Beaver State Fling's like super fun, and I absolutely love like Milo, and the way they turn Milo into like that big full like 18 kind of thing. So that's definitely going to be a pretty difficult decision, because on the other side, kayak is like I can just stay home.
if it's AM, would they're not they wouldn't even do anything near the Pro Tour plays,
I
would
think
they?
they would. If I was running the event and I was making it like an A tier, I'd be like, yeah, we're going to do the same layout of last year or a similar layout to last year, and then
Yeah.
the year after that, try to bump it back into Pro Tour status, like. But I would push away, be like, hey, like we have this dope.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing. Oh yeah, I'm not saying get away from it at all. I'm just like thinking of like not even trying to shade, but like a
oh, for
lower
like,
player, like
yeah, I
trying to.
mean, maybe there's like shorter tee pads, like that
Yeah,
par
yeah, true,
five,
true,
like
true.
they're probably not having the AMs, MA3 guys teeing from up there. Like that'd be pretty cool,
Yeah,
you know. You can make that par
it'd be
five and
wild.
have them teeing off from like the left side of the road, because I think even for like an MA3 or even like an MA2 player, like that still is like a super challenging par five, even if it's still you cut off like 300 feet off of it. So, um,
And that's something I kind of want to. Maybe I'll think about going and trying to
bro,
do that
I mean,
possibly.
maybe like we should like think about that as a trip. That'd be really fun. Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
really cool idea. I
and
mean,
caddy,
because we went down. I
yeah,
know I went down there already with you, so I was like, we just
it
round
is.
two.
Yeah, he's playing MPO this year. Watch out.
I know.
No, that's sick, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, there's so much happening though. If you're interested in looking at the schedule, go to the Facebook or Northwest Disc Golfers group and look at John Anderson's post.
Yep, you can just look up John Anderson. I pulled it up
Yeah.
pretty quickly, but super informative just to stay ahead of the ball. With tournaments, you just really have to be signing up early if you want to be in
Mm,
them. If you don't, and so yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
great. And it's
And
cool that he has like the master list, and then he has like the A tier or the A tier and B tier list, where it has only want to
hmm
play in like the bigger events, or you want to prioritize the bigger events. There's kind of a way to filter out all the C tiers and that. So
yep.
very cool. All right, moving right along into our kind of like topic of discussion this week. Uh, Thank you to Corey Parker for this idea of a topic. He came to the shop the other day and kind of just started chit chatting with me for a bit, and we were talking about the best way to spread out the majors for the PDGA, and he was saying that him and some of his friends will uh, pay for the DGN, the Disc Golf Network, like for the month. They'll get the premium subscription or whatever subscription that they need. They'll watch, those two events or the major, whatever, like big events, and then the next month they remove themselves from the subscription, or they drop the subscription, because they're like, well, there's no reason to pay for it like every month if I'm not watching, very many events, or if I'm not watching disc golf this month, kind of thing. Which is interesting, because that has, he was saying, he's like, I think there's a lot of people that do that kind of go on, go off, in certain months of the year that makes more sense to get their premium membership and stuff. And it kind of just got us talking about like the way the majors are spread out. And he goes, I don't know if I think it's he goes, I don't know if I like that. The European Open next year and the PDGA Worlds next year are like 2 weekends apart. And he goes, so whoever wins the European Open, it's like they're going to get congratulated for like a couple of days, and then the calendar, and then whoever wins Worlds, they're going to get like all the hype and all the fame. And I don't know. Like, I kind of just want to talk about like what we think the best way to spread out the majors would be. Because personally, I like having the majors on the back half of the season. I kind of like treating it kind of like a postseason is like in baseball or football and that kind of thing. You know, it's like the end of the year. Like that's when the games like kind of start to matter the most. You know, and that's when it's like the most pressure and like the biggest, the biggest stage of them all kind of thing. And sometimes, whoever wins the World Series or whoever wins the football or the Super Bowl or, whatever, like the Stanley Cup, like it's not always about who is the best team for the whole season. It's about who is the best team for that month or whoever's the best team like in those moments kind of thing. So I don't really love the argument being like, well, you could just have one player get really hot and like take a bunch of majors. It's like he got hot at the right time. I don't really think there's anything wrong with that necessarily personally. So, what do you think? What do you think about spreading the majors out and that kind of thing?
Um, I think maybe switch around where they're at, but I think the way they have it formatted creates like the most um and this is one thing I don't like about the disc golf network, and I don't really like about the PDGA and how they do the pro tour and stuff like, or the pro tour stuff like that, because I feel like I feel like they go towards like viewership, and they want like they're a bit it's they're going towards like the money and what can make them the most money. And so making them the most money goes towards having it spread out like that, because it incentivizes people, whether they have the subscription for the year or they keep buying it in and out throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year. They're still making money off of that. And so I think if they did only have it at the end, they're making less. And so that's like where they're thinking with that. Whether that's like the right thing or wrong thing, I probably think it's the wrong thing in the sense of like longevity of the sport. But I would probably, if I had it my way, I probably would have Worlds at the end of the year as like more of a wrap up, and then. But I don't really mind. As long as I think when you have majors and when you define like winning and success as winning majors, and I think it's really important to have them spread out. And so I think it's just the like, I think a postseason doesn't really work necessarily for disc
Mm-hmm.
golf, as much as like, yeah, we all love postseasons, we love that, like, yeah, like eliminations, we love that kind of thing. I don't think it works as well with like pools of people. Um and then it I think if we had Worlds at the end and a different major in the middle of the year, I think it'd be a little better. Like we had the Euro champ, and then we had um like just a different, just any, like literally
Oh, I,
any, like the Players
I
Cup or
totally
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That would still want people to watch middle of the season, still want people to continue to do that. But I think the disc golf network's trying to tackle a problem that is like bigger than them. Like this viewership and trying to entice people to watch earlier games in a season is like just a general
Yeah.
sports problem. Like the NBA has just implemented the mid-season tournament for a reason. Like NFL is like, they do these things for a reason. They said one less preseason game and one more regular season game because we want people to be watching less of the preseason and watching NFL games
Yeah.
earlier in the year. Like they viewership is, it's a struggling battle. I don't think they're equipped to honestly deal with it. And so I was, when I saw that we were going to be talking about this, I was really excited because I honestly think, and this is kind of like, I think they need to just pick the what they're doing and just kind of stick with it. I think whatever they're like, I think
Yeah.
change is good for sure, but like sometimes you just need to be like, have something solid, let it grow, have years, have consistency, show that, and then maybe like deviate off the line a little bit. But you have to have like at least time in with it. Like if you're changing how the structure of everything works every year, it's just like it loses
Yeah.
like it loses grip of what it is. Yeah, yeah, prestige. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. I totally agree. I think like Champions Cup changing places every year, Worlds have it being in a new location every year. Like I don't think that's great for disc golf. I think we need to have facilities that host these tournaments, and it's like the yearly thing, like, hey, like Champions Cup's coming, it's in this spot, and it's this, like, if Champions Cups is the wooded tournament that everybody wants it to be, great, have it at Northwoods, right? And Northwoods Black is always Champions Cup. Awesome. And that's a thing every year you can mark around this time of year, within this month, a couple weeks kind of thing. I think that's great. Same with Worlds, and if you want to have one major that moves, right, and that's your moving major, I think that's great too, and like that's okay. But we need to have Worlds, majors like that. They need to be in the same locations to build that prestige. So year in and year out, like, hey, this is a big deal that's coming to this area. Like next year, like Champions Cup, like I'm planning on playing Champions Cup, and it's at where OTB was last year. So if I look up like, hey, Champions Cup, and if you're a casual player and you look up Champions Cup 2022 and then Champions Cup 2023, 2024, 2025, and you're like, dude, what's going on? Like, these are all different courses. Like it doesn't it also, in a way, and not really, but kind of in a way, it almost like devalues the win in a way, because it's like, hey, like, yes, you won that major and that's awesome, but you won it that year, it was on the open course. You won it that year that it was like softer because it was on this course and that track. Like, no, if you have the same course, it's like, hey, and then you start having those, like, Macbeth shot 18 down. It's like, oh my God, like the gravity of that is huge. If everybody every year is going out and trying to capture that 18 down, or trying to beat the new 50 or 49, whatever that score might be.
That's another thing too. Like, course records just don't have that much weight because every year there's a modified to some hole or some different position here where, like, that course record is like, oh, it's on this layout, like, and then it's like, okay, there's like what, 100 course records then, like, God.
I mean, so I feel that way about local courses. I mean, you look at like SeaTac and look at Lakewood, where it's just like, when someone asks like, hey, what's the course record here? It's like, it could be at SeaTac, like, course record could be like 23 down, but also like it could be like 9 down because everything has got extremely hard that, and all the pins were in the worst position, like it could vary so much. Like, but on the other side of that too, I like having alternate pin positions, at my home courses, because at places you play enough, like, it's nice having the variety. So
to play like devil's advocate, I do think there is some cool stuff with like moving certain like worlds and stuff. Like I think it's really cool to be like every time people have played like the Fort, where 2018 Worlds was, or no, 2021 Worlds was. Yeah, 2021 Worlds was, or something. And then there's like those courses now, they can be like, we hosted this, like they take a lot of pride in that, which I think is really cool, and I think there is a cool certain system they have with that, but I do think at the end of the day it does ruin the prestige of it. Yeah, I think it's 100% right. But I do think there's like, it's really cool, and I think it creates history with that. Like, people are able, like, when you're driving through Utah, like, you can just go and take a picture of the Worlds in 18, and then you go wherever else and go take the one in 20. Like, I just think it's cool, like, I think that is maybe one of the cooler things, and I think it allows people, because then, like, Worlds might be somewhere else that year, but like, you go and play, or you're traveling, you're like, whoa, like, I'm getting to see, like, I just think that's cool.
I think if you move, I'm just going to use Worlds as kind of like the generic example right now. Like, if we're moving Worlds, right? I think year after year, after 5 years, you start to forget, like, it, you know what I mean? Like, we're like, oh, was that one in Utah? Was that one in North Carolina? Like, where was that Worlds? Like, it starts to lose a little bit of that, where if you have it every year at the same place, and this is going back into the prestige thing, when Conrad throws in on 18, like, every year when you see somebody's drive go to, or somebody's approach shot get to that area, you're like, it's been done before, who knows, right? And that creates another storyline, out of that kind of thing. So I think we're kind of saying a lot of the same stuff, where it's being keeping the majors kind of where they are, like, in lock, and in place, I think is going to be really important to the courses. I personally, and I know you kind of said like Worlds being the last tournament of the year, I would love to see Worlds be the last event of the year. I think Worlds is our biggest title right now in disc golf. It's the title that everybody hypes up as the biggest. So I think that should be like our World Series, that should be like our Super Bowl. I don't hate the idea, and I know this is probably going to be something that might be pretty unpopular, but I don't hate the idea of having the tour championship and then like 2 weeks later doing PDGA Worlds. And it's like, hey, that's the biggest event of the year, so it's kind of like the finale to the whole season. I'm sure that doesn't work out for like X, Y, and Z reason that I haven't thought of yet, but I like that. I like the idea of having those two majors at the end. I like the idea of having a major like in the middle of like smack dab in the middle of the season. And then I don't know about the rotating major, like that can kind of be like if the rotating major wants to be true rotating and not only move courses but move time of year too. That's kind of an interesting thing that I don't hate, I think.
Like playing the same course every year for Worlds would lose like do you think people you'd see the same thing almost every year at Worlds, or like do you think that would ever be a problem, or do you think like it would be not repetitive but a little bit
I
annoying? Like I
I mean, I would say it would be the same effect that you would have like every year you watch the Dynamic Disc Open and they play Emporia. You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, like if you're getting sick of that, then yeah, that probably would start to happen eventually. Um, yeah, I would say that that would go for like any course. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a great point with that, because like yeah, I think I think it's hard too when you just have pro tour events that are up, like some leave and some go. Like Beaver State Flake should be a pro tour event. That's so
yeah,
messed up. Like it's just kind of weak in my
it was
opinion.
awesome.
Like because then yeah, it's such a cool course, such an amazing like property and
Mhm.
everything like that. Where I think that also like screws it up. Where it's like again, like there's not the same year that happened this year than last year. So this year's pro like 2025 pro tour or like points champion didn't play Beaver, like there's just a
Yeah,
different, I don't know, like there's something to be said
yeah.
with that. Yeah,
What is it? They do the Maple Hill every year. You know what I mean? And like, what is it? The Tour Championship now is at Maple Hill every year. So it's like we're kind of starting to fall there. Was it? It was this past year. Was it the year before that too? I think it was, right?
it was at
Or
wait
was it just MVP Open
what
the year before that?
was the MVP Open the tour points championship this year?
I think it was the Tour Championship this year was at Maple Hill. I might be wrong about that,
Oh
but no, I don't know. We're saying a lot of the same stuff again though. But yeah, no, I,
yeah, no, yeah, we
yeah,
agree, we
I
agree.
like it though. I think it would be fun, and I don't know. Comment below like what you think would be really. Do you want to see more majors on the back end of the season? Do you want to see them spread out evenly throughout the season, like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, finish, kind of thing? Like, what do
Yeah,
as the disc golf fan? Like, you're obviously a pretty good disc golf fan. You're watching a very niche YouTube show based on just Washington State disc golf, so you're obviously a fan. Let us know what you think. So, um, all right, Ollie, you want to get into the fantasy football check-in?
really, again, this is
Tough week.
we just are making bad
Uh oh.
decisions, we're just not making the correct starts. We got hurt guys. I got guys I can't. Yeah, we're just bad. We scored 90. We lost to Toby, so we moved to 1-9 on the
That's tough.
season.
I had a goat
Yeah.
week. Did really good.
Yes, you did. Most efficient manager, Darkwing Discs. You had max points,
That wasn't
100%.
off of like decision making, by the way. 5 of my bench players are on a bye week, and the other guy was hurt. So I literally just played anybody I could. Like
Wait, low key, always to have 100%, you just drop everyone
yeah,
on your
there.
bench. You're
Yeah,
always a
I'm a
100%.
smart manager, dude. I always have 100% success rate. That's funny.
Uh, yeah, we just yeah, I'm doing yeah. We're not doing too hot this week, but Lucas Cobrea with another win. The climb continues. Back to 500, getting a win against on top of the world, shocking the number 1 team. And then we got Team Lucky Luke losing to CL 25423, 100 to 153.56. We have the Emerald Rangers getting the big win, the league high with a 161.44 against a 127.88. And then we got 2 tight ends, 1 cup with 118.82 losing against Team Slop Jockeys with a 127.86. And we are looking to start figuring out some playoff spots. And so it's looking like we're going to have a couple. Kirby's fighting for the 3 to like a top 3 seed basically. You're sitting at the 4th seed right now. So But if you can get up to 2, you get a first
I would
round
like
bye,
that. We'll
which is
see.
kind of cool.
I don't know. 7-2-1's kind of gonna be tough. I'm on the top of the world. It's got to go through like a little losing streak there.
You just got to keep winning. Head down, keep
Well, I got
winning.
an easy matchup next week, so
Who's the matchup?
it's you.
No. Well, that's where you're just gonna. That's like you say that now, and now you're gonna lose, and then next week you say that now, you're gonna lose. Next week we'll see how sad you are. Get out of
Yeah, dude.
here.
So, who the guy I faced? He had what the frick's his name? Jamar Chase on his team, and Jamar Chase 50
Oh,
burger, dude. I was like, well, and that was like Thursday, so I spent most of Thursday and Friday being like, I'm gonna get smoked this week.
you win again.
His team Gaines.
Oh, Gabe Zansberg. Gabe, what happened? What
Yeah, Jamar Chase
happened?
popped off.
Oh, Bengals -4.
Yeah, Eagles did me good. I mean, Action Jackson's been the man, or Lamar Jackson's been the guy.
Jamar
Jamar
Laxton.
Laxton's been my guy. Um,
You can put nicknames on this app. That'd be a
that
good
would be
nickname.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, solid. Looking forward to next week. I gotta look at the waiver wire because my opponent next week. Oh, that's you. You don't have a quarterback currently because I think your only quarterback's on bye. So
Yeah, we're fine. We don't need a quarterback. What do
do.
you mean?
Luke Gent won without a quarterback, so I don't know. Maybe you don't.
We don't.
His
We
only
don't.
win, I think, or it was his only win for a while. All right, moving on to the draft this week. This week is the P draft.
Pushing P.
Please, Ollie, do you want the number 1 or you want the 2-3?
Oh, I will take. Let me pull my notes in. I'll take the 1.
Go for it.
Probably the easiest food for me to eat. One of my favorite foods. Very customizable. A pizza.
Yeah, deserve it. Good number 1. Yeah,
And not a pizza.
pizza. You are.
I think in the A draft, this just gave me flashbacks of the A draft.
I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah, no, good. All very appropriate 1 overall for sure. All right, so for the 2 and the 3, for the number 2 pick overall, I'm gonna pick Pokemon. Easy pick there. Ollie and I have been playing the trading card pocket game, the app. So I'll actually post my friend code in the comment section below. Like, go on, we'll battle and trade and stuff. So, but yeah, so for the number 2 pick is going to be Pokemon, and then the number 3 pick is going to be potatoes.
Okay, that's actually a versatile pick.
Potatoes
too.
are great, dude. Yeah, like have them any way you want. French fries, always slap. Order a plate of fries for the table. Everybody's happy. Baked potatoes, sick. Mashed potatoes, Thanksgiving classic. Thanksgiving staple for sure. So, yeah, Pokemon potatoes. What you got for number 4, bud?
We're going with another food. I got a lot of food
Got
for
a lot of
peas.
food too.
Pancake.
Good one.
I like pancakes a lot. I don't know if this helps my draft or not. Probably doesn't, but I am more of a waffle guy. But I still love pancakes.
I'm a pancake guy, I think, over waffles personally. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
I think I like the cups that hold the syrup, and then I really like chicken and waffles, and so I feel like it's like that dish together is just like.
I like when you take the bottom pancake or the top pancake off, and you throw that big old slab of whipped butter.
Yeah.
And the middle is like soaking wet with butter. That's like the best freaking bite, dude. Oh man.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Pancake. I'm not even hating on pancakes. Not even hating on pancakes. Love them. I just drafted them. And then to follow up pancakes, we're going with kind of broad, but I think it's narrow enough. Pasta.
Good one. Yeah. Pasta, really, really good, dude. We have pasta.
Pizza and pasta? Yeah. Who wants pizza, pasta, and pancakes? Come on over.
Dude, you're nailing that. You make pancake pasta?
I haven't, but that. Oh, is Is that actually a thing where people is it you like makes little
Yeah, I've
strips of
seen
it and
people.
then
It's in
the
a squeeze
syrup?
bottle, and then they like toss it up, and it's like that. It looks kind of cool. I've never done that, but it looks cool. Um, Solid list so far, man. I will say, solid list.
Well, now I'm really my last one is so different that I'm really I'm like panicking going to another.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna be on theme. For my
Oh
number six pick,
no.
I'm picking pie.
Oh
I'm not the
no.
biggest pie eater. My father-in-law, that is like his. That's his freaking jam, dude. Cherry pie. Anytime I go somewhere and they got cherry pie, like we get a slice for Frank for sure. So, um, a pie, and then my last pick is going to be. I'm gonna pick pretzels. Uh, honestly, anytime I go to like a Mariners game or any stadium and they got soft pretzels, like I'm a sucker for a soft pretzel for sure. If you go to like a nice like German bar and they got soft pretzels on the menu, like it's kind of hard for me not to get like if they have like a sampler. I freaking love like the samplers. Like I love dips for a pretzel.
I love a cheese dip,
The
so
cheese dips are so good. So yeah, pretzels. So my pick is Pokemon, potatoes, pie, and pretzels.
you know with Hawaiian King, the ones that do the
Yeah,
rolls,
yeah.
they made a like a pretzel
Did they?
ball. And it's like a sweet Hawaiian roll, but like pretzely, and it's
Sounds
I
really
was a fan. They kind of threw me off
yeah.
at first, but I got it there. I got them, and I was like,
That
holy
sounds really
crap!
nice. Yeah, I
I
used to
feel
make
like
pretzels when I was a
yeah,
chef, and I would like try to like do like weird stuff where like one I like diced up apple like really small, and I put it in the pretzel, and like I don't know, some they weren't very good back in the day. I'm sure they were like tough as shit. So, um, pretzels.
I had a lot of honorable mentions that I'll go through, I guess, first before I get my pick off. I think I figured out. We're it was gonna be Pagani, just cause I like cars like that, but I think we're gonna go off of Pagani, and we're gonna go off of pineapple. We're not gonna do peach either, but we're gonna do
On my list.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
popcorn. I'm such a popcorn fan. Every night we watch a movie, Roxy and I, it's like popcorn, and then it's like, I've been doing the nutritional yeast in
Okay.
it. Very
Yeah.
good. Very some popcorn. Roxy put me onto that. The nutritional yeast with the popcorn. It's kind of like
Okay.
cheesy and like it's pretty.
All right.
It tastes really
No,
good
I
though,
love popcorn. Movie theater popcorn.
and just
Oh
butter. I
yeah.
love butter.
I,
Yeah, bread. Just the butter at the
yeah,
movie
movie
theater
theater
goes
popcorn. I
crazy.
would even count. I mean, I know kettle corn's like technically different, but it's all kind of the same thing. But yeah, going to the stadium and there's that woman outside with the red tent that has all the different kinds of kettle corn there. Like that's a staple for me too, man. Totally.
Have you been to the Cinerama
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
and the chocolate covered
Oh,
popcorn? Oh my
yeah.
god!
Is it powder?
It No, it's like chocolate
Oh,
covered complete. It's so good, dude. It's
yeah.
so good. I went there and I watched when the new Star Wars movie came out. I went on opening weekend there. It was like I was the only person not dressed up. I was like, "Dang!"
Yeah.
No! I was like, I didn't realize it was like
That's
that.
funny. I'll go through my honorable mentions real quick. I had pitcher from like baseball, Pedroia from Dustin Pedroia, who's a Red Sox player. Rifle through Pink Passion Pussy Peach Party Pen Play Pirate. So, what?
Throw it in there.
Ollie, you want to wrap us up with a quote in the outro, please?
Of course, yeah. And I just want to go over
Yeah.
my list: pizza, pancake, pasta, and
And I
popcorn.
had Pokemon potatoes, pie, and pretzels.
And then to end episode 32, amazing 32 weeks. We're looking forward to a couple of these episodes coming up for sure. I know, yeah, there's a few that we just got some bangers
For
coming
sure.
up. Like, yeah, and so we're excited about that. But for number 32, I got a quote from number 32, Shaquille O'Neal, and it's talking about a reporter. He basically said, "Me shooting 40% at the foul line is just God's way of saying nobody's perfect." And because basically all he'd do is dominate the paint, and then they'd foul him, and he that was the hack a Shaq. And so I always found that quote hilarious. But aim high, shoot low. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, and peace. Oh, that's sick.